All right, it's early the next morning. I just did this other strange happening video. I did put a link in the description of a paper from a physicist talking about the universe as a neural network. And I've just read a couple of things through it. I try to read the abstract and the discussion at the end. I have no idea about those formulas at all. I find it interesting though, the concepts. And then the last thing, the holographic duality of uh, the macro and micro. That was interesting, very interesting to me. Because some of the things in my head, that kind of link together. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to ramble on this morning as I have my cup of tea. So drinking my tea, rambling on about the universe as a neural network. Okay, the way I see it, it sounds totally plausible to me that the macro of the universe is a neural network. It seems if you probably Google stuff and look all this up, maybe it's out there. But the gases between stars, there's the gases between the stars that act like fibers in a brain, pathways in a brain. Perhaps the stars or the galaxies, perhaps those are the little bundles between what is that called? Going between the little bundles in the brain. I don't know what that is. Fibers, pathways, whatever you want to call it, that the electricity flows down. Well, there's gases that go between stars. And if you look at it from a macro standpoint, it looks like some kind of neural network, fiber network with the gases going between stars. And I think even between galaxies, maybe. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know, but it does look similar to that. I find that interesting that that is similar. Another thing that I find interesting about all that is from the strange happening side, going out there and feeling emotions with all this new stuff that happened since Strange Happening 55 um, kicked off a new trial and error kind of thing, but not only feeling emotions of other people here on the planet, but out in the universe, that there's areas with emotions in it. And I find that interesting. So if emotions have a particular frequency associated with them, is it possible that these could be mimicked in frequency out in places in the universe? But that's how our own brains work. Is we feel emotions and we feel them. I mean, we can feel pain and things like that on our skin, but it gets relayed to the brain, and that's what translates it. I guess our brain is what does all the work, really. So if the universe is a neural network, perhaps there's centers out there for these different emotions. Perhaps, I don't know, just guessing, rambling early in the morning with my tea. Rambling with my tea. I think I'll call that as the title of this thing, Rambling with My Tea. Well, that's what I'm doing. The other thing I find interesting are black holes out in the universe. Black holes. Time bends around black holes, right? You've seen the movie Interstellar, things like that. Well, time, as it goes into a black hole, slows down, but it slows down to the point where it stops. Time stops at a point around a black hole. So it's a sphere around the black hole. Since it's not flat plane, it doesn't just come in and stop. It's a sphere. So everything that comes in, time as it comes in, there's a point where it slows down to the point it stops. And everything that comes into that point, every light particle, every bit of light that comes in there and hits that time stoppage point stops. It's like a memory, a memory. So everything that light has carried with it, everything that we see light with our eyes and everything else, but every moment that the galaxy has brought to that point of time stoppage, it's still there. It's still there in all these black holes. All this events that have occurred and light and everything that have come toward it. I don't want to say black holes as eyes and sees this and it captures it. These are like maybe memory nodes. Perhaps black holes are like memory nodes. Because at that time stoppage point around a black hole, time stops and it's a memory of everything that's ever happened around it. It's a little memory point. And these black holes are everywhere around the galaxy. Universe. They're everywhere. These little memory nodes that's remembering everything that's happened because of this point in black holes where time stops. Well, that's interesting. These little memory nodes, there are gases that go between stars, perhaps even between galaxies, that act as connections, connecting fibers, whatever you want to call it, connecting gases between all these. That's interesting. So there's just so much to this that just kind of causes me to ramble with my tea in the morning, rambling with my tea. So that's some of the things that go through my head. Not only that, something in that abstract, I'll put a link in the description, about the universe as a neural network. And one of the things that came through when I was being overloaded in Strange Happening 55 was the idea of the micro quantum, small quantum states. You know, you see that in Marvel's Infinity War. They talk about the quantum realm. But, you know, quantum entanglement, the way it works. And then there's quantum gravity. But something weird was going on with that was that there's an underlying waveform to all this. It's a waveform that goes through everything, that links everything, and that's the solution to quantum entanglement and quantum gravity is this waveform. It's the same waveform that goes through the micro and the macro universe. So both of them, there's a waveform that people haven't seen yet, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if it's out there. You don't know. But there's this waveform, and that's the solution to quantum entanglement and quantum gravity. In the paper I mentioned, in the abstract, Universe as a Neural Network, one of the lines in there mentions the duality of the macro and the micro. So on a cosmic grand level, may be seen at the micro quantum level. The same things are happening, which is very interesting. Almost like that phrase here, as above, so below. How very interesting is that? Isn't that interesting? Find that interesting. Things like that run through my brain when this outside information comes through. So a lot of it is kind of crazy and way out there. Again, this rambling with my tea. And this will probably go up the same, this video I'll post the same day as the other one because the way the time zones, the way these videos get posted, if I post after, upload after 7 p.m., it gets posted to the next day. So sometimes these videos get put together. But this is some of the morning things that I'm thinking about. One other thing. I don't know what I'm going to do. Last night, the other video I mentioned I'm going to intervene. I'm having second thoughts about that now. Last night I couldn't get to sleep. So, laying in bed, I thought, well, I'm going to reach out and go kind of look around the earth at these pinpoints of light and not link with them. Just observe. Just look and see what's out there. And for a future possible linkage when my energy level comes up. So, let me just prep, the little preparation. Go out there and look. So, I started doing that. I ran across something I've never ever seen before. The Earth is here. I'm kind of on the outside of it, looking at it, these pinpoints of light. Some I went closer and looked at. Came back out here on Earth. Oh, I don't even have a piece of paper to draw it. Shoot. What it was is I went back on Earth. I don't know if it was like a belt buckle and a belt around the Earth or a belt buckle or something. I should have brought a piece of paper to draw it. But on the Earth, a big, huge circle in front of the Earth was almost like a buckle or a barrier or some kind of seal or something over it. It was interesting. It was round, almost like a Chinese or Asian looking thing. A little circle in the middle. It had lines coming up, another half circle, another line, another half circle, line, circle, circle, and lines, and then outside circle. So it looked like that. You know, a circle in the center, little lines, half circles, around other lines, half circles. Reminded me of something you might see an Asian restaurant, you know, on a wall or something. But some kind of seal, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of weird. A seal. And the thing with that, I could have shattered it. I could have broken that thing easily. It felt like the consistency of skeet. If you ever done skeet shooting with shotguns or other guns, and they shoot the skeet up, it's a round disc that's clay, but a very fragile clay. You can pick one up and break it in one hand. That's what it felt like. It was fragile, semi-solid, but fragile. Like I could have reached out with my hand, grabbed it and crushed it and broke that barrier, that seal or whatever it was with one hand. And part of me wanted to do that, honestly. Part of me wanted to just, I guess being a guy, let's see what happens, you know, hey, let's just see what happens. That kind of trial and error thing, let's just see what happens. And I didn't do it. I stopped myself because of past experiences, past strange happening videos on house barriers, walking through barriers in a house, feeling the barriers and shattering them. And then I learned to respect the place and not do that, ask permission. That kicked in before I shattered it. That past experience was like, okay, stop. I don't know if this is somebody on the planet putting this up. If it is, they're pretty powerful to put that up, but not near what I am, and I could have shattered that easily. But I don't know if that's a person doing it, or if that's the earth doing it, or if that's my self-intuition doing it, telling me this is a bad idea, don't do this. I'm not sure. So that's on pause for the moment until I figure it out a little bit more, or what's going to happen. So that intervening is on pause because of that symbol, that whatever was right there between me and earth, and it was clear, it was right there. I could have got up last night and really draw a great picture of it. I didn't do it, but it was there in front of the earth, between me and the earth, and it was some kind of barrier, seal, buckle, whatever you want to call it. I've never ever seen that before. I have come from out, okay, getting crazy again, outside astral travel, other planets, coming back to Earth. I've seen Earth from the outside a lot, a whole lot, many times, a lot. I've never seen this before. This was brand spanking new. I've never seen this before. So something definitely has changed, at least with me, since Strange Happening 55. Something has definitely changed, and I've never seen that before. So before I go shattering things, I need to try to comprehend some more because, like I mentioned, another one, I'm a bit slow sometimes, so trying to figure this out.